Yeah, I have my AirPods on, so it should like go through. I can like walk around and stuff. Oh, you disappeared. You're in the dark now.
My
You're
bad.
back.
My phone. Yeah, I'm back.
Cool. So are we streaming right now?
Yeah, yeah, we're live.
Okay, cool. Well, nice to meet you. This is what I actually look like. I'm blonde right now.
Nice. The blonde looks good on you, though. I think
Yeah,
you're
thank
blonde
you.
in PFP, aren't you?
I'm blonde what? In my PFP,
I think
in
you're
my
blonde in your PFP
Discord.
on your Discord. Yeah, no, you're like a brunette in your YouTube PFP, right?
I'm actually naturally a redhead.
See, red and brown look too similar for me to like see the distinguishing factors sometimes, unless it's like bright
Hmm.
Irish ginger fire engine red.
Yeah,
Then I'll
I'm
notice. I'll be
definitely
like, oh,
not
shit.
that kind of ginger. I don't have like the fire crotch going on or whatever.
I wasn't gonna ask, but cool.
No, it's here, give me one sec. I need to grab my hairbrush.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine with me. I'm just gonna sit here and entertain the people. Hopefully, we get some of that audience we did have because we had a lot of people watching there for a second,
Yeah.
dude. And you know what sucked? I
What?
figured out as soon as I ended the stream why nobody could hear me, and it was because
It,
you
it
hung
was
up out
on
of the
your
Discord call, but I didn't.
Oh, okay. I see. So it was picking up probably your other mic. The Discord was picking up your other
Well,
mic.
no, I had disconnected that, and if the receiver's not plugged into something, it doesn't send any audio out, and it can't connect with Bluetooth or anything. So what was happening is I think YouTube is designed to not take. It's like designed to not share audio inputs or something. I don't know how to put it, but it's like there's some kind of conflict because I tried restarting YouTube and it still wouldn't take audio input. It's like you can't split audio inputs between.
Yeah. Someone in the
Oh,
chat says audio isn't working, by the way.
mm, it should be.
Can
I can hear
anyone
you
else
fine.
hear? I'm glad we got the Trump
I feel like that
2028.
person. Yeah. Aw, kitty.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's really loud, so if I don't pay attention to him, he'll just like scream. So we're paying attention to him.
I've had cats like that. They're great.
Hmm.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
instantly with the Trump 2028 people, it doesn't like honestly, it doesn't normally take long. I would say like between a minute to 2 minutes now.
Hmm. To get the Trump people.
Yeah, yeah, to get like the first waves of them anyway. There's
I know
successive waves.
it it seems like YouTube Live like really attracts those types of people. And it's sorry, my camera just got messed up. Um,
Oh,
it's really like bizarre to me that they like come into a live stream and they're immediately like, "Oh, Trump 2028." Like, I think it's just like a I want to trigger these people. And yeah, I just find it to be kind of like childish and annoying.
it's the politics of triggering the libs, Brie. It's all about like it, like once you understand that these people don't actually have politics, that they just have like aggression and rage, it becomes so much easier to understand them. Because literally, like whatever they say is whatever they think. It's like calculated to be the most despicable thing that they could say in that moment. So if they go into a trans woman stream that's got a pride flag behind her, and there's like people talking leftism in the chat, or just people being normal and vibey in the chat, right? They are going to come in with a Trump 2028 or a you're a man or something like that, and all of it is meant to elicit a reaction. It's politics masquerade. I'm sorry. It's I guess just baseline rote trolling masquerading as politics.
Yeah, it pretty much. I feel like most of especially like the younger Trump supporters, they're basically just like a bunch of teenage boys who saw like Feminist Gets Own compilation 1000, and then they're like, I'm going to make that my whole political personality. And it's like in reality the things that help people and make the world better and just create like a better society, those things are not usually related to these culture war issues. Like it doesn't really matter that much if a trans woman is on YouTube like talking about her experience or whatever. What's important is like, does your job pay you enough? Do you have health care? Those are the issues that like pretty much only progressive Democrats talk about and care about. And those people don't really care if you're like trying to like trigger them or whatever. Like those people generally don't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, someone who's really good with like, somebody who's really good at pushing an economic populist message is not going to be, like, gotten off track or something like that by somebody that's, like, just coming at them with baseline rote, like, Republican parrot stupidity, you know? Which I guess is one good thing you can say about, all a secular election, but damn, are we useful in getting Americans to understand where the problems lie?
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, it's totally like I talked to my brother about stuff like this, like about like corporate ownership, and he is more on like the right wing populist branch of conservatism. And it's like the same thing. He sees that these corporate owners are essentially the problem. And there are like a small amount of Republican representatives that do actually like dislike corporatism and the system we live under. And they do genuinely
Yeah,
believe
there are a few.
there's a few, like, even Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's like, I hate her, but she actually
Famously, yeah.
she believes what she's talking about, and so it's like, I respect her more than I respect, like, fucking Chuck Schumer, who's just like, "I'm gonna take corporate dick, and I'm gonna make it so that, um, poor people have less opportunity," you know?
Imma be real with you, Marjorie Taylor Greene has kinda been let me just put it this way, there's a reason why the right wing all of a sudden forgot about MTG.
Mhm.
There's a reason why.
No, totally.
Because she has fucking been spitting fire, bro. And not on everything, but dude, when it comes to certain shit, it's just like, god damn, is it refreshing to hear a Republican like
Mhm.
talking some sense for Jesus Christ. And she's been one of the fucking leaders of the like insane march to the right in the Republican Party,
Yeah.
which part of it makes me wonder if like maybe this isn't like representative of some kind of grifty shift to the left that's meant to, like people have done the reverse heel turn. It's easy for me to imagine someone doing it that way around, but I agree with you. I think she actually does mean the things that she certainly like she's not a politician that you know screams like moneyed interests have influenced this person's entire life, right? Like that's what Trump is. He's literally a moneyed interest and like he's a walking moneyed interest. And everyone that surrounds him pretty much in the inner circle is that. And that's pretty much what dominates the Republican Party. But you're right. Among their number, there are still a few because, dude, if you are a person that wants to run for politics in a small town, even if you are an economic populist, you're better off going with the Republicans unless it's just like the Democratic side is completely uncontested. But there's a lot of places where economic populists can win and where Republicans just win by default and where you can win in that primary because seats are so often unchallenged. So, I think it's honestly, I think it's a sign of like the overall breakup of the MAGA movement, but I don't know. I might be too hopeful there.
Yeah. I think MAGA will probably die with Trump, but it's really hard to say because I keep thinking like, "Oh, this is the end, this is the end, this is the end," and it just, like, never happens. Um, I do wanna talk to you I'm sorry, this is, like, a bad segue, I do wanna talk to you about the weed thing. because I do have big opinions, and it'll be more fun if we're fighting about this instead of just like jerking each other off. So,
Yeah,
um,
that's true.
I basically think, and chat will agree with me on this, if they're red pilled, if they're beans and rice pilled like me. Like, if you're a poor person in this country, you are basically like one step away from being in debt your entire life, going to prison, dying, shit like that. Okay. If you're a poor person in America, every single ounce of your energy should be put towards not being poor anymore. Um, and and that's just the truth. Like if you have to work 3 jobs, if you have to not buy weed, if you never ever go out to eat, whatever it is, that's what you have to do. And so I don't think that if you have no money, you should buy weed. Like I don't think you should feel good about being poor, at least in the current way things are right now. Um, like and that's not me, like, denigrating poor people or saying that they're stupid or anything like that. I just think, like, a lot of people don't realize the degree of harm that they could potentially face, like, 10 years from now. Like, if you don't have retirement right now in your 20s, you're kinda fucked. And that's just the reality of the world we live in, unfortunately.
Um, so do you agree that the economy is largely outside of the control of individual consumers and workers?
Yes.
Okay. Um, do you also agree that under the current American healthcare system, it is incredibly easy for anyone, regardless of their substance abuse patterns, to become indebted with medical debt suddenly out of nowhere, unexpectedly, that just follows them for the rest of their life?
Yep. I mean, that's why you have to like work out and take care of yourself and eat good food and drink lots of water. Like those things
And not
are
get hit by a
even
bus,
not get hit. I mean,
not,
like
end up not get
here's the deal.
not end up in some kind of deadly accident or
Here's
not
the
get,
deal.
not
I
have
work in
any black
healthcare.
swan events happen to you.
I work in healthcare. I can tell
Yeah,
you that most people, the vast majority of problems that happen is to people is chronic health issues. So they
right,
are dealing with like diabetes or they're dealing with obesity or they're dealing with and it's not even really obesity,
right.
it's like the
No, I get all
consequences
that. Yeah.
of like 30 years of obesity. It like wreaks havoc on your internal organs. Um Smoking cigarettes,
Right. I'm not saying
drinking, shit like
yeah,
that.
no,
Yeah. Like most people are not
I
getting
get
hit
that
by
people largely
buses.
harm themselves. No, I didn't say most people were getting hit by buses, Bree. I said that it like I guess the point I'm making more than anything is that I think this is a quote from Star Trek. It is possible to make no mistakes and still fail. And that is why there are so many poor people that, despite the obvious logic in living off of nothing but top ramen, living in the cheapest apartment they can possibly afford, and saving every single red penny they can get their grubby little hands on, despite the obvious logic and reason in that, that is why so many poor people spend their money on things like booze, online dating, things like that, because all of us can recognize that we are ultimately not at the mercy of our own actions. We are at the mercy of an economy which is outside of our control unless we band together in a united way to change it in ways that will benefit us as a collective.
Sort of. By the way, I want to read this comment because it's really, really funny. Tell this broad to
Okay.
grab you a geek bar and start washing dishes. So true, King. Um, I am laughing at the comments. I like the shitty comments. It's so funny. Bree, you are talking to a man.
Yeah.
I really hate to tell you this. I really hate to tell you this, but I am, by your definition, also a man. So you're gonna have to like compute that somehow in your brain. Um, so anyways, I like hear
Oh,
you
that
and
was fucking great.
I agree with you in principle, but it's like at the same time, like I think you should do whatever you fucking can within the system that exists to not live like a shitty life because a
Well,
shitty
wait,
life
hold
sucks, and
on now.
you can do less with having a like, if you have money, if you make $100,000 a year as a leftist, you have way more power than some fucker who works at McDonald's and makes $30,000 a year.
You technically do, but you also have way more incentive not to use that power, which means people in that position are actually less likely to use that wealth in furtherance of leftist goals, at least in my experience. But, you know, the thing I wanted to point out is that, dude, I proselytize it all the time. Have you ever heard of the rainbow family of living light?
No, I haven't, and I'm just gonna grab some water real quick.
Okay. Okay, cool. Um, do I need to wait for you to get back? Oh yeah,
No,
you're right.
I can
Cool.
hear you, yeah.
Anyway, cool. So the Rainbow Family of Living Light is basically the last vestige of the hippie movement. Contrary to popular belief, we didn't all die out in 1969. A few of us remained, and obviously I wasn't part of that original group. I'm way too young, but 1972, a bunch of hippies gathered together, created a new kind of festival, and continues to run to this. And if it is a demonstration of anything, is that you can have an entirely enjoyable, in fact, a really wonderful quality of life. In fact, better than you might be getting in your current situation, not saying you specifically, but any average American, without any money at all. Now, granted, there's quite a bit of expenditure that goes into setting up a rainbow gathering. Obviously, you've got to buy the food that you bring in, or you've got to grow it, or whatever. But the idea that you necessarily have to have money in order to have a good life, or the idea that um, like being impoverished in and of itself means you've got a horrible life, I take umbrage with that. I think that the reason why poverty means you have a horrible life is largely due to policy considerations. Poverty wouldn't mean you have a horrible life if we had universal basic health care or universal basic income or both. It wouldn't mean you have a horrible life if we had a universal food stipend. Poverty would just become much, but you're not on the street. You've got food. You can cook at home if you want to, or you can just live off of prepackaged meals. Food stipend will cover either way. You've got the basic necessities. Right now, poverty is a really horrible way to live exclusively because there are a whole bunch of policy considerations that America doesn't engage in at all. That if we did enact some of these, would completely revolutionize the experience for a person living in abject poverty. Right now, there is no option for a person that's out on the street other than a homeless shelter. You're not supposed to stay at those long term. There is no option for a person to get free housing that doesn't require them to fit into society that someone who's profoundly mentally ill, profoundly addicted, might not be ready to acquiesce to, you know? Anyway, sorry, I'm
No, it's okay, I'm thinking about what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, like, I hear that, and that's very nice, that we could have those things. I think I'm a bit more pragmatic and real, like, I've been broke before. I was broke in 2019, and I was broke in 2022, and I had to get skills in order to not be broke, and that's just reality. And, like, I live in Eugene, Oregon, okay? And Eugene at one point was it had the most homeless people per capita in the entire United States. And,
Yeah, I've heard about
um,
that before. Yeah.
yeah, and so I see it every day. I see people living on the street, people walk into my yard, you try and help them when you can, but there's, like, not that much you can do, and it's like, I think everyone should be doing everything they can to not end up like that because you're you're done at that point. It's, like, impossible to come back from that, especially if you're
Well,
on
it's not.
drugs,
I mean, yeah. I mean, there are things that can make it impossible. I'm not. I see. Oh man, I'm so fucked up about the way I talk. Incredibly difficult, I will say. It is possible. I never had to live without the privilege of having a car to sleep in at night, at the very least. But I was homeless for 2 years, and I was able to get out of that largely due to the charity of a friend, which was an extension of charity that had been offered to them, which is how they were originally able to get off the road. So it's like somebody helped them out, then they were able to help me out, and then that was able to give me the leg up that I needed to get out of that situation. But that just goes to show you the tremendous amount of social effort that it takes to get a couple of homeless people off the street. I mean, that's thousands of dollars of expense.
Yeah.
That's a tremendous amount of effort. Just with you in principle that it is very difficult to like that poverty should be addressed before people get to that point. I just think that it should be. I think that it's kind of onerous to put the onus on that was an interesting choice of words to use in close combination. Anyway, I
Onerous.
just think it's a little bit onerous to put I think it's a little bit onerous to put the onus on poor people rather than policymakers. Because in my mind, the people to be blamed for this scenario and the reason why poor people might be better off logically not enjoying themselves at all and just living a very Spartan kind of uh, stoic life. I think it's down to an unwillingness to, and I feel like attitudes like yours encourage sort of um, obeisance to the system, like just like kind of uh, I don't know, like stiff upper lip, kind of attitude
That's
where
what
it's
you
like,
gotta have. Listen, I want things to change, and I do things to make things change. I try and do things on a local level to get change. Like right now, Eugene, I have been working with other people, and other people are doing most of the work. I'm not really helping that much, so I can't give myself too much credit, but like we're getting renter protections. We're trying to make it because like most people who become homeless, like they're not like living on the street, they're like living on someone's couch or some shit like that. Like they
or living
basically
in a
don't have a
car or something
lease.
like that, right?
Yeah. So yeah, anyways, going back to what you're saying, like I think that you have to be pragmatic and you also have to be caring and you have to find a way to balance those two things together. Like I find that I have because I'm like economically stable, right? I like live in a decent house, we have two cars, we can afford shit. Um like it's a lot easier for me to help other people. I have the ability to do mutual aid in a way where when I'm when I have less money, I can't give mutual aid to other people, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not blaming poor people, but I do think poor people have in not that all poor people have the same culture, but, like, a lot of poor people engage in behaviors and 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 things like that that keep them poor. Like, there are a lot of poor young people who buy DoorDash for basically every meal, and
Oh yeah,
I don't know what to tell you at that point. You're a fucking idiot at that point. There's nothing else to say. If you're
no, I
DoorDashing
agree with
Taco
that.
Bell and you can't fucking afford your rent, that's not the system's problem. You would fail under a system that would
Okay,
take care
see,
of you.
yeah, see, we've like interestingly enough, now we've come upon a little bit of meat that I can grasp onto, and
Mhm,
I don't know if you caught it when I was streaming earlier, but I made the point that like um when I feel like when that person in chat said they posted their cash out, they're like, somebody help me out, I can't afford weed.
mhm,
The way I took that, right, was I got my bills paid, but there ain't enough money left in the budget this month for weed, and I would like some. And
mhm,
I like that attitude as a person who used to spange for weed myself when I was homeless, I'm not saying that person was, obviously, I'm assuming that they're not, right? But I'm saying when I was homeless, that was one of the things I did. And I had a very honest attitude about it. My sign literally said, in need of weed. Now, granted, I was also playing the guitar and singing. So it's not like wasn't doing anything for it. But there's like an honor there that I kind of dig, number one. So there's like that emotional thing. But number two, there is this presumption on my part, right, that when I like when I'm defending somebody doing that, I'm defending somebody that should, by all rights, in my opinion, be able to have a little disposable income to spend on weed. I don't think that like I think it's really fucked up that what being poor in this country means is that you functionally have little to no disposable income left outside of your bills. Like for the really poorest people, I mean, well, for the really poorest people, outside of whatever you're doing to support your addiction, which has at that point become a need, um, that's a primary spending driver. But really stoned.
It's the
You know what,
weed.
Bree? You're
Mhm.
100% right. You're 100% right. You know what?
As usual,
I
I
bow.
often am, actually. Um,
No, I'm kidding. But seriously, dude, that was a fucking great case. That like, dude, you couldn't have asked for a better. You
yeah,
couldn't have asked for a better appearance.
yeah,
Get halfway through a
um,
fucking Phoebe rant, and she's like,
mhm.
"Huh?"
Totally. No, I mean, like, it's okay. I feel like next time I come on here, I'm gonna have to wear like a boobs shirt, like a shirt that shows a lot of cleavage, because the chat will go fucking crazy, and then I can just be like, "Hi, I'm a trans woman." Like, I think that would be really
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, dude. Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be fucking so fun. Yeah. I know
Yeah,
you had
it's
like a 30-minute hard out, so I don't want to keep you too
yeah,
long, but
I'm okay for like
this
the
has been
next
fun.
couple of minutes. I just have class in the morning. I'm really
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
cool.
I can
Is
go as
there
long as you want to.
Okay, yeah, I definitely will have to get off like within the next like hour for sure. Um, I just have class in the morning because I can never stop being in school. I love being in school, so I just like take classes all the time.
And that's
I'm like,
valid.
oh,
And you know what? You're living your philosophy too. Oh, another cute baby.
yeah, I got two of them.
But yeah, you're living your philosophy too, because like one of the things you said is that if you're a poor person, you should always be. I'm not saying you are, but you did say you were at one point,
Bro,
and
I've
you were
been
talking about
fucking
how.
poor. I've been poor
Yeah,
as
well, that's
shit.
what I was saying. Is you were talking about how you were, right? So,
Yeah.
but
Dude,
continuing to go to school is definitely living up to that philosophy. That's all I was gonna say.
yeah, like I feel like to survive in this fucked up economy, you need backup plans upon backup plans. You need a fucking emergency fund. You need to fucking Dave Ramsey yourself. Like
Do you I am curious about something though, and I
mhm.
hate to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Uh, I really do because I hate it when that happens to me. But
No, you're fine.
I want to ask before I forget. So, did you did you grow up poor? Did you grow up middle class, upper class? What was your like? If you don't mind talking about it, you don't have to,
Yeah. No,
but I'm
I'll
just
I'll talk
curious.
about it. So I grew up like I would say middle class, solid middle class until 2008 happened. So in the year 2008, my dad went to prison, which he's actually getting out next year. So I've not seen this man since I was like 8, maybe. Yeah. So my dad went to prison, so we lost a portion of income, and then the financial crisis happened, and we ended up like basically losing everything. So we went from living in like a decent sized house. My parents were doing well. I was also homeschooled at the time, to living in like a shitty apartment and having no money. And my mom was suddenly a single mom with 5 kids. So that's pretty
Jesus.
much,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. So I like had like a decent life, and then it got more I became
Damn.
poor.
So you kind of had like a. So let me ask, and I already know the answer.
Mhm.
I bet you relate quite a bit to Paul's. childhood story about like growing up the way he did, and then that big crash and the bankruptcy that his parents went through and everything. Because
Yeah.
that's basically the
I
same story.
yeah, I mean, like, totally, and that's why
I mean, different circumstances, obviously.
I value stability is because when you go through something like that, it's it becomes clear how, like, unstable everything is, and you can think everything is fine, everything is cool, like me today at the fucking restaurant, and then the guy gets shot across the street. It's like, shit can go down whenever, and you never know when it's gonna happen, so you need to be prepared for it.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
Yeah.
You ain't kidding at all. Yeah. No, for real. I mean, shit can just start popping off out of fucking nowhere. Um, Definitely. And I would say, well, that's something that we relate on, although we come at it from maybe different places, although I guess kind of similar places. For me, I feel like I value stability so much because I went through that experience with homelessness, and I feel like homelessness is just one long period of giant instability, nothing but constant instability. It's just like every single day you're like reestablishing basic stability. I mean, it really is the most nerve-wracking experience a human being can go through. You spend the first 12 hours of your day, or however long it takes you, getting to homeostasis, the place that most people get to right after they finish their morning coffee. And
Yeah.
if you don't go to bed right after that point, then you're spending the next 3 or 4 hours just trying to like enjoy the fact that you're now relatively warm and fed, and you know like fuck it, I've been defending it all night. You've got some weed, because honestly, when you are that fucking poor, you need a little fucking dude. I'm not gonna say you need, but I cannot judge or say I don't blame people, when it comes to like, especially like, minor substance abuse. The problem is though, like, when it comes to the stuff that ends up killing people, it doesn't usually start off with a fentanyl addiction, It starts off with like a pilly addiction, and then
Yeah.
like a fucking heroin addiction or something. And then now you're on fent. So it's
I
like, I can't underwrite it completely, but I also like if it's like weed or alcohol, I feel like as long as you're operating within regular responsible usage guidelines, aka you're not being a stupid drunk and you're not getting so high that you're uh like a danger to yourself through your incompetence, then I think you're okay, in my
yeah.
opinion. But
I
I
mean,
know
I
we
think it's
disagree here.
fine. It's like here's the real deal is like if you smoke weed and you can be functional, I know some people who like are functional when they're high or they work better when they're high. Um like I sort of personally from like a health perspective, I think that that is not great, but if it works for you, that's fine. I I've just had too many experiences, Phoebe, with people who are like, "Oh, I'm such an asshole. If I don't have weed, I have to have this, or I have to have my cigarettes." And then, their life is so fucked. It's like maybe you need to not have cigarettes or weed for like a couple days so that you can learn how to like actually cope. Because that's
I
something
mean,
we're
I get
missing
why you
is
say that.
coping ability.
I I agree, but I don't think anybody's gonna magically grow coping ability because they fucking cut their weed addiction out, you know? Um,
Some dude,
but
sometimes going through
I
that
feel
shit
like
teaches you things.
sometimes it does. Sometimes it just, fucks your life, end up getting back on it, I guess.
Yeah.
At least that's been the experience of some people I've known.
You
Me
got a
myself,
super chat,
I've
by the
taken
way.
some tolerance breaks. I've quit. I know I've scrolled up to it. I'm about to read it, but I just wanted to finish saying this real quick. It's just like I've quit a few times. I've taken tolerance breaks a number of times. I feel like I'm reliant on it to the extent that I do prefer to have it. I do prefer to have it as like a form of like instant mood relief that requires less, you know. I don't know, less corralling of my autism. I don't really know how else to put it. It's just like I can either like 30 minutes getting the right series of things done to make myself not feel like I'm drowning, or I can just go smoke a bowl real quick. And then I can do whatever I need to do, and I won't feel like I'm drowning during the process of doing those things, which to me is like a perfectly justifiable use of weed. But that being said, it's not like I don't get the shit I need to get done without it. I still do, you know. So like I feel like as long as you can maintain that baseline standard, like you said, I feel like at that point you're being as responsible as you can with that. I mean, yeah, no drug use is ideal, but like I don't know of any human beings living an ideal life. Do you?
No, and I don't think, I mean, it's something you should strive for. I think all of us should strive for greatness when we can. Um, but yeah, you're totally right about that. I think that I just tend to be like a little bit more hardline because a lot of the times when I talk to people who are like my age, who are like they're still fucking around or whatever, um, I think the best thing for them is you need to go get a job that you work 40 hours a week, you need to get health insurance, and you need to have an emergency fund, and do those things, and then see how you feel after it. And then you can start complaining about, how unfair the system is, because all of those things are achievable. You can do all of those things, even if you're, like, fucking 80 IQ. Like, those are all achievable things that lots of people don't do. I have friends who do not have emergency funds. And I don't think you get to say, um, I need to have my weed, I need to have my cigarettes or whatever when you don't have those things.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree, but
That's okay. That's totally okay.
that's okay. I'm gonna read
Yeah.
the super chat
Yeah, read it.
the lunatic before the lunatic libertarian does a
Mhm.
charge back on their credit card. Thank you, by the way, for the super chat 4.99 from the lunatic libertarian. Let me heart that up real quick. Self sustainability is the goal. Produce your own security and outcomes. Cooperation versus competition. Training versus programming. Accountability versus blaming. Um, yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're, aligning pretty heavily on the Bree side of this debate, but that's okay. That is what this channel is here for, is to encourage discussion of complex topics. Um, yeah, no, I feel like it's, I don't know. Would you tell a diabetic that they don't need their insulin just because they're like too poor to afford it? You know,
Um,
the same thing. I know that's a cheap
yeah, that's
argument, but
that's insane.
like
Um,
I know that it's kind of a cheap argument, but like, let's just say, like, okay, but here's the thing: it's not that it's not actually, if you think about it, because there are people who smoke weed for things that are definitely more life-threatening than the normal anxiety, depression, and autism that people normally smoke for, right? There are definitely things like there are some people that use cannabis to treat like glaucoma, which I think is like an eye illness, isn't it? You're in healthcare, don't you? You know this shit, right?
Yes, glaucoma is an eye illness, and weed is an effective tool for dealing with that. Weed is also really good for people who have like really bad nausea. It's also
Yeah, that's another good one. That's
there's
not
some
life-threatening, but
anecdotal
yeah.
evidence that it's good for pain. There's some anecdotal evidence that it's good for anxiety. But
Dude,
I would
I'm so glad
say,
you said anecdotal. I'm so glad you said anecdotal, and I'm
yeah.
say like I'm not that kind of stoner, okay, Bree? Just
Hmm.
because I'm defending poor people's right to smoke as much weed as they need to doesn't mean I don't believe weed has like, dude. Okay, people act like weed is a miracle drug.
They
That is not
do.
me. I recognize weed has a limited number of like studied uses, and then a bunch of shit that people says it does. But like the pain control thing, for me, the only reason I don't feel as in pain when I'm high, because I'm high, because I'm like my brain is more engaged. I don't know how to put it. I feel better overall. So the pain is like less present. But the minute I get back up on my feet and stuff, it's right there fucking with me just as hard. It's not like tramadol, for example, is a really effective painkiller for me. So is Toradol, which is not a painkiller. It's I forget what it is, but um like there's a number of like things that I've been prescribed over the years that actually do work as painkillers or muscle relaxers or whatever and produce that very like tangible feeling of relief. The only kind of weed
Hmm.
experience I've ever had like that has been on high dose edibles. I feel like high dose edibles might be able to produce that effect, but it is anecdotal, dude. People will say it cures anxiety. It does not. So in some people, it doesn't even relieve anxiety. In some people, it can generate a fucking anxiety attack.
Yeah.
So I wish
It
people would stop recommending it as a general fucking anesthetic for anxiety.
Yeah, and we've been seeing more and more this problem where people will actually smoke way too much weed and then they start having a really negative reaction to it. And I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's becoming more and more frequent. Weed is also
It's
like
not
not
cannabinoid hyperemesis, is it?
that is what that is, yeah. Um I um and there's been some, studies recently that have come out that shows, like, weed is not super great for your lungs, anything you smoke is not super great for your lungs, weed is not super good for
Yeah.
your heart either because it increases your heart rate, and really anything that's increasing your heart rate that isn't exercise is not good for you, because, like
I make that point about caffeine all the time. The coffee heads hate to hear it.
well, what's interesting is caffeine actually, decreases uh or not caffeine but coffee specifically, I want to make a distinction there. Coffee decreases your likelihood to die by something like 29% if you drink 4 cups of coffee a day. There's been a couple of big studies on
Why?
that. I i think it has
Do we
something to
know?
do, it's really good for your gut. So I don't think it's about the caffeine content. I think it's more about what it does to your gut. Cause like after you drink coffee, you shit. A lot of people die from like bowel illnesses. So like most people when they're like 85 and they're dying because their gut is fucked up because they have like bowel cancer or bowel perforation.
Right.
It's a really nasty way to go. And if you have a healthy gut, you're not going to have those problems to the same degree.
Holy shit. Bree, I never realized how smart you were. Dude, when you're fucking on trolls in chat, dude, you seem smart, but like I never pictured you as a person who had like intricate knowledge of uh like human physiology. This is just like awesome to me. Because I love this shit. But
Thank you for
I
glazing
never
me. I
knew.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no, 100%. You've done it to me plenty of times, I'm sure. Um, glaze in the chat, but I see them roll by often enough from regulars that I have to assume there's been one or two from Green. But seriously, um, fucking goddamn it, I got too busy sucking your clit, and now I forgot where were we?
We were talking about coffee or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah, yeah,
talking about
yeah, yeah.
coffee.
So, okay, I was gonna say, I remember the point I was gonna make. I'm just gonna change my rhetoric now. Okay, just letting everybody know, rhetoric change incoming. New Phoebe rhetoric dropping live right now. Uh, Coffee is no longer the thing we're gonna make fun of. It's energy drinks. So
Oh yeah,
when
energy
somebody
drinks are
gets on to
bad
me
for
about
you.
smoking weed, awesome, thank you. Fucking confirmed by a healthcare
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
professional. I'm
No, no, no.
fucking emboldened as
So
shit now.
here's something interesting about energy drinks, and this is something that you kind of hard to find information on this actually, but even sugar-free energy drinks, like the ones that don't have sugar in them, but sugar is obviously bad for you. But when
Right.
you get these energy drinks with like sucrose and shit like that in it, or what's the other one? There's a big study that just came out on it. Aspartame.
Um,
Aspartame. So when you consume something, especially a drink with those chemicals in them, you are making your body think that you have just consumed a bunch of sugar. So what your body does is it produces a bunch of insulin, and so it actually increases your insulin resistance. So um, basically sugar-free energy drinks are giving people diabetes is essentially what it boils down
oh,
to.
dude, that is the fucking most ironic fucking thing I've heard all fucking year. that there's no way that's going to be topped. There's no way that's going to be topped. So you're
Yeah.
telling me, okay, this is going to sound random. Boogie 2988 has been claiming for the last fucking 3.5 years or some shit that his dumb fat ass has been drinking fucking Diet Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
And what you're because his doctor recommended it. Nevertheless, I get it. Now, a doctor would never recommend soda, but apparently Boogie's doctor recommended Diet Mountain Dew because he was pre-diabetic or whatever, had all the signs of like type 2 approaching. And what I'm hearing is diet sodas cause cancer. Not cancer, but cause diabetes.
They might
That is
cause
fucking
cancer. They might
hilarious.
also cause cancer. But so I guess I need to walk that back a little
Oh
bit.
my goodness.
Because I can't say definitively that they cause diabetes, but they increase the risk for diabetes. So I
Well,
really
yeah,
can't say
okay. That's
definitively that they
fine.
cause that.
Listen, Bree,
Yeah.
you're the expert. I'm the YouTuber. That was my slant. You spoke
Mhm.
responsibly.
I'm
I'm
really
the one who turned
yeah,
it into some
okay.
conspiracy theory nonsense, okay?
Gotcha. The chat does not like what I said, it seems like.
Of course they don't, because you're fucking speaking the truth. You are not the first person I've heard talk about how bad energy drinks are for you. I
Mhm.
just used coffee because it's the one that I knew would piss people off. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking the whole time, I bet I should be using energy drinks instead, because I know them fuckers are bad for you. But caffeine in it, fuck. No, I didn't know it was actually good for you. That's cool though.
Yeah, it is good for you.
That's cool.
The main thing is just like making sure it's not burning the inside of your mouth, the inside of your throat, because
Well,
that
yeah. I
anytime
always
you're
drink iced
causing
coffee.
yeah, yeah, like that's great. Yeah, and just like staying away from artificial flavors and sweeteners. Sorry, I sound like a fucking doctor right now.
Yeah. I I think a second ago it sounded like you were about to say you're not an expert, but I don't know what to like I was just being exaggerative. I don't know what to like to what degree your medical
Yeah,
training goes or if
I
it
don't
exists at all or
really
anything like that.
so
But,
it does
I know you work in
exist.
healthcare, so
I don't really wanna get into that specifically just because I don't
no, I get
really
that.
want anything I say here to be connected with my work, but I will just tell you
Right,
that
of
I
course.
understand the human body, understand how it works. I could tell you pretty much anything about it. That's my level of knowledge. But, like, do I know how to administer
Cool.
drugs? No.
Oh my god. Uh, hope you don't have to empty your bladder, 'cause it's time for the career ladder. Dude,
Yeah.
I want to ask you so many questions. I'm not gonna, but I feel like
Yeah,
I could
don't.
narrow it down just with that one alone. I'm not gonna, Bree. I'm not gonna. I respect your privacy.
Mhm.
Please know that I respect your privacy. I'm
Yeah.
just telling you, and I have to because the fucking bit. I have to. I I feel like just with what you said right there, that's all I want to know, right? And I mean, I could ask you more in DMs or whatever, but
You
like,
can
I'm not
DM
going to go
me.
any further than that. But right, of course, and I've got your Discord and stuff. But like, it's just I don't know how to put it. I am a fucking like a human obsessionist. I love us. I love people, and I love deducing people's life paths from this little clue or this little piece or this little puzzle or and one of a situation like that is just like, okay, so she doesn't know how to administer drugs, but she does know a lot about the human body. Okay, well, that tells me a lot. I'm not going to say any more than that, but if you know enough about the fucking healthcare sector, that tells you a little bit at the very least. Of course, I guess you could also just be a fucking phlebotomist for all I know.
Yeah, totally a
You would
phlebotomist.
still
No,
have to know quite a bit.
I really don't like blood very much. I'm actually a fainter when it comes to
I
blood.
hate it.
Yeah, I recently dropped you're gonna think I'm stupid for this. I was going out to my garden to like cut some tomatoes. I couldn't find my scissors, so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take this steak knife, which was a really good idea. Yeah, yeah. And so I go out there and I'm like holding the knife and I'm like, huh, I could drop this and it would like go right into my foot. And then like 5 seconds later it happened. And so I dropped the knife into my foot. And so I run back into the house and I'm like, oh, fuck, what have I done? Um, and I end up, like, passing out after taking the knife out of my foot, like, with blood everywhere all over my bathroom. It was so horrible. So if you ever feel like you're gonna pass out, pro tip, lay on the ground with, like, your head on the ground, like, on your back, and you'll feel a lot better. Because usually when you're passing out, it's because you're having, like, a low blood pressure spike. Um,
Huh,
so there's a pro
that's really
tip for
smart.
you.
I mean, it also makes sense because, like, if you did feel like you were about to pass out, that would also, like, prevent you from taking any, what us gamers would call fall damage, you know?
Yeah, hold on. I have to complain about something. So Zach
Okay,
says,
cool.
Jam, I just noticed they both have shit haircuts. LOL. I spend a lot of money on my hair. Okay. Last time I went to the hair lady, I spent $250. So it's not a shit haircut. Like by definition, I spend
Holy
a lot of money on
shit.
my hair.
I spend exactly no money on my hair, but I'm still gonna show it off because that hateful bitch said that.
Hmm. Yeah, it's nice. You're
Dude, I could tell you had huh?
nope, nothing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I could tell you had an expensive ass hairstyle as soon as I saw you come on camera. I was like, oh man, okay, dude. Well, wait, it goes back to what I was just saying about being kind of a people watcher and a human obsessionist, right? I like so as soon as you came into camera, right? A few things immediately popped into mind. Number one, she's got a really expensive haircut. Number two, she lives in a pretty nice house. Those are they are hung properly. Like they're actually hung on the right type of equipment. She's got aesthetics, but she doesn't go overkill with it. And I can tell that because of the framed picture. I can't tell what's a framed picture of, but it's behind your head. So you've got like a
It's
minimalist kind of sense of style, maybe.
no,
Not
that's not
minimalist,
true.
but like
That's not true.
not overbearing.
I'll give you a
No,
panorama. It is overbearing. Um, so
really?
like, oh shit, I can't even turn it.
No, I
There
wouldn't
you go.
consider that overbearing. It's not minimalist, you're right, but it's not overbearing. You should
This is
see my
like
gaudy ass room.
this is our least decorated room, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, this actually, well, I won't get into it, but yeah.
You don't have to get into it.
Hmm.
But no, like you should have seen my fucking room when I was still living in Missouri, dude. It was the gaudiest fucking thing you've ever seen, girl. It was like fucking insane. I had string lights everywhere, like
Hmm.
literally every edge along the ceiling, because it was an upstairs room, and it was like, I don't know how to put it, but it was in like a, I don't know. I'm not an architect, but it was in a fucking house with a roof that like has the four panels, whoop, whoop, you know, and has the like windows sticking out of two sides of it. So it had a lot of corners and divots and weird lines and stuff. And I had uh I had string lights along all that stuff. I had some furniture in there, and all of it was like decorated with little like tchotchkes and shit like that. Oh, it was perfect. It was great. It was wonderful.
Oh, it sounds like fun. I do want to say to whoever was like, don't show strangers your bedroom. This is my guest room. Okay. I would not be streaming in my fucking
That's
bedroom.
what I thought. See, you've got more taste than I, or maybe you're just I don't know how to put it, but see, I don't. I'm the type of motherfucker that will definitely stream in my bedroom, but you know, it is what it is. I do like area, and even when this building eventually gets used for something else, I'm going to be. I think I'm just gonna buy me one of those. You know those portable buildings? You might not. Do they have those up there? Do they sell those? Like drive by a fucking gravel lot with a bunch of portable buildings on it, you know,
Um,
1,500
I think
down
so,
today and
yeah.
drive off or whatever.
I think so, yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, I want to get one of those that's like just big enough for me to have a decently roomy shooting space, or well, really like three shooting spaces in there, and a little kitchenette that I guess would also be itself kind of a shooting space. Not something like necessarily like big enough to live in, although I would want to kit it out so that I could use it as like a guest house or whatever if I wanted to. But once I have that, dude, oh my god, it'll be fucking great. It'll be fucking great. No more comments about the fucking sorry state of the drywalling in here.
Yeah,
People just be talking about how nice everything
you
looks.
should do it. I mean, you attract the worst kinds of people. I think you can make it work if you have a nice setup and stuff. From what I've seen, I think you need to figure out a way to monetize the shit bags better, because I think you could monetize the shit out of them. Like if you brought them on for debates and you're like, okay, $5, you can come on and debate me for 10 minutes or whatever. Like, I think that that would work for you because people fucking hate your ass. They hate you, and you can
Oh my
turn
god,
their
I
hate
know.
into
I know.
money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, like that's I mean, I'm sure you figured it out already. That's kind of my monetization model already, not that exact
Mhm,
setup, but monetizing the hate is basically how I work already. But right now, it's like 50-50 hate and love, right?
mhm.
Which I would still like of course I appreciate every donation I get, whether it comes from somebody who loves me or hates me. But I do think you're right. I think that like honestly, I'm just gonna say it. For the amount of views I get, I should be making more
Yeah.
because I haven't mastered the art of monetizing the haters.
Yeah, literally just I think if you brought them on, like, if you figured out a setup like Discord or whatever where you can stream via, like, a computer or a laptop or whatever and debate these people, um, and just argue with them, like, I think you could make money, personally. Um, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like I've like, and I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you've been in here enough times to see it, but if not, like, there's been like a number of times when I've made like more than the goal or like blown the goal out of the water has been because of like for whatever reason, I guess I was just like my energy was on fire that night or something, but the fucking haters were just out with their wallets that night. It happened the other day where it was like the goal got beat pretty fucking easily because there was like some dude that paid like I don't know, like $18 over the course of an hour to just like I don't know to repeatedly misgender me. Like I don't know. I don't even remember the substance of it because it's fucking out one ear and it's in one ear and out the other with this fucking bullshit. Has to be. Can you imagine what kind of a fucking nervous wreck I'd be if I was taking this shit home with me?
Yeah, totally. I mean, like,
No.
I definitely wouldn't stand for it. Like, if I were to do a live stream and people were like speaking to me that way, I would definitely be more like Paul and be banning those people. Like if you want to be like shitty to me or you disagree with my views, it's more like you can make a cogent argument or you can just say idiot, moron, whatever. That works for me. But really not super interested. Like I don't know how you do it. I would not be able to deal with the constant hate, I think. I definitely love like adoration and worship.
Oh, I do, but I get quite a bit of that because I deal with the hate. You know, it's like
Hmm.
it's I mean, that is a part of the Phoebe Ophi cycle. If you think about it, is like
Hmm.
um, people see me maintaining. See, that's the thing. I've figured out really well how to monetize the people who like this kind of content, and I don't think I need to change anything about that. The way I monetize people who are cool with me and who are chill with me is just by remaining a chill person that's like easy to vibe with and that makes cogent arguments and that isn't easily, you know, like I don't go apoplectic every time I have made an argument with. Like I'm not that kind of person. Even if I get a little bit heated,
Mhm. Totally.
anything about that aspect of like
No,
the
I
presentation.
I don't
You
think
are
you do
right. I
either.
do need to cool. I
I
do think you're right though. I do need to figure out a better way to monetize the haters.
I wanna complain about someone in the chat, that was saying like, "Oh, you censor, that's always your tactic, you can't take criticism." I can take criticism, and I can deal with somebody saying like that they disagree with me if they make like a cogent argument, right? But if you're just in the chat saying, dude, man, Trump, 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 like that's not an argument. You're not saying anything. You're just like diarrhea from the mouth. It's garbage. So, like, I'm happy to
Literally,
actually
verbal
discuss
diarrhea.
what you really believe. I'm happy to read it. Like you just said, Infinity, you just said biology question mark. Well, like, what do you mean by biology? I'm happy to talk biology with you. I'm sure I know more than you do about biology. So if you want to talk biology with me, give me a biological argument and we can talk about it. But you're not going to do that. You're just going to say, man, Trump, biology, two genders. You don't have a real argument. So like what I'm asking for is give me a cogent argument and then I will respond to it. Maybe Phoebe doesn't mind if you just say Trump, 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 but I mind personally. Yes, because they have a middle school understanding of biology. That's funny.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah. Anyways, I have to get going here, but it was nice talking to you. It was cool. I'm glad we did
Of
it. We
course.
should do it again sometime.
Yeah.
Um
We will.
yeah, totally. Okay. Well, I will see you later. How do I get
No,
out of this
cheers.
thing?
I don't know. I don't know how it works from your end. How it works from her end. Okay, well that was fun. That was out of nowhere, but that was really fun. That was great. That was Bree from the chat. She's been a long time viewer of the channel for a long time, and I've wanted to have her on stream for forever, but nothing worked out. I'm glad it worked out this time. That was cool. Are you able to come up? How do I do this? Invite link guest. I don't know. Is Gemma still in here? Gemma, you still around? Gotta sleep. I'll do biology class next time. Cool, cool, cool. If not, I'd be up to debating you in the comments here while you reply verbally. Well, I'm cool with that. I'm really cozy though. I might be a little bit debated out. I might kind of just want to vibe. Was that bud in the pipe a minute ago or tobacco? It would be colossally ill-advised to smoke tobacco out of a glass pipe like this. And you could do it, but it's like the worst way to smoke tobacco. Literally. I cannot think of a more inferior way to consume tobacco. You'd literally be better up shoving the tobacco. You'd be better off shoving the tobacco up your ass and like boofing it than you would be smoking it through a glass pipe like this. So definitely weed. Definitely weed. Yeah, somebody in the chat's guessing fucking EMT. See, that's what I said. That's why I said what I did about having to know a little bit about the medical industry is like, um, you know, Bree said she doesn't know how to admit uh, she was like, she's like, I know a lot about the human body, but I don't know how to like administer medicines and stuff like that, which is interesting, right? I mean, I not like I said to Bree, it's interesting. It doesn't tell you that much, but it tells you more than I work in the medical industry. Because, dude, you could be a fucking janitor and work in the medical industry. I think some of us are confused about what EMTs actually do. Well, I fucking maybe. I don't know, but I don't like this fucking game of fucking GeoGuessr that we're doing with Bree's identity. Can we stop it? You guys want to fucking write fan fiction about my life all day long? Go ahead, but please spare my friend from it. Is that a pentagram behind you? Yes. And if so, what does it represent for you? It's just a symbol that, like, the one on top is just an art piece, but the one on my guitar symbolizes. I guess it doesn't symbolize anything for me. It's just, in honor of a family member that, to whom it was a pretty valuable symbol. Does Lily Tino represent trans women in a good way? I don't know who that is off the top of my head, honestly. Dude, people are so mean in the comments. Walking past a hospital on your way to your Starbucks job is not a healthcare job. Well, aren't you a clever one? Her statement on energy drinks is 100% false? No, your statement on energy drinks now is 100% false, dude. What are you fucking talking about? Like, the shit Bree was talking about energy drinks, I've heard other people talk it before, and, I'm not going to claim to have read any of the studies, but I've certainly read through some abstracts that seem to suggest that energy drinks are correlated with higher blood pressure, higher rates of obesity, higher rates of type 2 diabetes, uh, and other shit. Listen, I'm just a YouTuber, okay? The expert is gone. The expert has gone to bed, and it's just me. I'm retarded, which is why I needed Bree here to give me facts. Okay? Now I'm left on my own and I'm floundering because I'm like, you know, like, I've got a room temperature IQ. What do you want from me? How far along are you into your transition? 5.5 years now, actually. How much do you lift? I have no idea. Actually seem pretty intelligent, though. Got them all fooled. Lily Tino is a trans woman that likes going to Walt Disney World and picking out children. Uh, yeah, I feel like that. That feels like it's got slant. Yeah, that one snap. Yep. Anybody smell catfish? I smell slant. Talking so much shit, Joshua, but you would be fucking surprised, but pleased as punch, I bet, to know that I've actually lost 40 pounds over the last year. I'm pretty proud of it. Even if nobody else is, I am pretty fucking happy about that. The universe exists to support me. It does? Cool. That basically means I'm like your goddess, though. Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. I think Mepin might be having like a I'm trying really hard to think if that is an anagram. Man, Mepin, you need to be fucking careful about going around saying shit like this to people. Trust me, I don't need any more delusions of grandeur, alright? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. If you say it all at once, you sound atrocious. You know, I was about to question whether I'm high enough, but I'm currently like staring in my chat at one specific username, trying to think if there's anybody I know. Because, dude, I'm just saying, the shit that Mepin has been saying over the last 5 minutes sounds like something like, okay, imagine there was this person you fucking hated, okay? Imagine there was this person you fucking hated, but maybe you liked them at first. You really liked them. You were best friends with them or something like that. And then you just got to where you hated them for some reason. And you kept waiting for them to fail. and for years you didn't check back up on them, but then you did, and they're doing great. So you're like, oh fuck, karma hasn't caught up to them yet. So you go away for another year. You check back in, and you see the same thing. You're like, oh fuck, karma still hasn't caught up with them. So you check back with them another year on, and at that point you stay watching. You can't look away because they're still doing better. They're still doing better, and they seem to be doing better all the time. And that seems like the kind of rant that would come out of that process. Just like picturing what I just said, let me read this right back. Okay? Picturing what I just said. So you just, you've spent the last 3 years continuously checking back on somebody that you ignored for 5 fucking years or some shit like that after having a massive falling out with them, thinking they're just the biggest piece of shit ever. But then you keep checking back in on them, and every time they're doing better than last time. And finally, you confront them and you say, the universe exists to support you. The universe conspires to help you. Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. Express thanks to the universe and everybody and everything around you, even for things you haven't received yet. The universe reacts to your belief in shortages with a fulfillment of your belief. Dude, fucking super villain rant if I've ever heard one. I have pissed Meppin off something horrible. You find out that they've grown immensely and they're blooming. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or you find out that they're just as big a piece of shit, but they're like somehow still succeeding. That's See, I don't think I'm that kind of person. I think that the reason why I'm succeeding now to what degree I am is because I've matured as a person to some degree. But I think that that's the kind of rant that would be produced by someone who perceives someone to still be as big a piece of shit as they ever were, and to have a bunch of undeserved praise and attention and success. The universe has a sense of humor too. Yeah. Well, that's why shitbags end up getting the fucking goods. Sometimes you gotta give the shitbags the goods. I get what you're saying now, Meepin. I get what you're saying now. It's just at first when you were saying it, it sounded so super villainy. It's like the universe exists to support you. It's like, man. See, you know what it is though, Meepin? Me and you think about things much differently. I don't think the universe exists to support me. I think I am just one tiny, tiny little facet of the many different consciousnesses that make up the overall human consciousness, which is just one tiny facet in and of itself of the overall set of consciousnesses that make up the planetary consciousness, which is in itself just one tiny facet of the overall consciousness of the universe, right? And maybe even say our galaxy. You just take it up every fucking step of the line from there. I think that I'm a consequence of this universe, just like you are, just like everybody is. I don't think it exists to support me any more than it exists to support anything else. I think it just exists, period. And we are supported because evolution has not given up on us. Forget them thieves. It's the internet. We all know how people are behind screens. Feel better. Oh, yeah, I feel good. Act like the universe is on your side and you will witness its power and blessings. Right on. Fragments, monads, dots in the omnidirectional continuum. Yep. Life is tough, but so are you. I know. I think even if what you say about the universe is false, I think it's powerful to face reality in the way you prescribe. I actually agree with that. Yeah, even if Meepan isn't factually correct, I think they might be philosophically correct. Because one other thing about the universe is that the universe exists in two places: inside the human mind and outside. The universe you perceive as being outside the human mind is actually a reflection of a reflection. It's funny, we perceive ourselves as we think of ourselves as perceiving things so accurately and correctly. But if you've ever done some acid or if you've ever had some real cognitive issues for some reason, you'll know that human senses are imprecise tools at best. You see, if I had a head full of acid, I could look at these plants right now, and eventually I would be seeing all kinds of weird, fancy shapes in them. I'd be seeing all kinds of weird stuff. My mindset, maybe I'd see bugs. My mindset, maybe I'd see. That is just one of the myriad ways in which your perception can be altered and made imprecise and correct. That's where you get into random cognitive issues or whatever. Sorry, I was just like lost in my own head there for a second. Anyway, no, I don't believe in God. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I think been a good go tonight, but I feel like that's enough of a that's enough of a run for tonight. I will get back with you guys later, though. Not later today, but maybe tomorrow. I don't know though. Part of me doesn't want to go yet. Part of me doesn't want to go yet. Then part of me does. You know what? I'm gonna stay for a minute longer, but I just alrighty. Man, Chat's just doing its own thing right now. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I don't even know what you guys are on about. I just don't like to get high because I get incredibly anxious. And love when you get doubts and the sun listen to a very specific song that'll simply leave my baby from doing so. And it is just too much. Although, Marco, I bet if you did it multiple days in a row, you probably would lose that effect. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying, repeated uses can kind of help with that. Oh shit, it's so overwhelming kind of thing. See, even if you pack a whole bowl, it's like I got this thing packed up. I ain't gotta smoke this whole bitch right now. If I want to, I can just corner it out real quick, which I corner by habit out of habit anyway. I always corner the right side closest to me. Well, yeah, once again, though, Margo, I'm not pressuring you to smoke. If you don't want to smoke, don't smoke. If you don't like to smoke, don't smoke. I am all about that. Indica makes for sleepy and antisocial. Sativa makes me awake and antisocial. And I told some. Oh, okay. So weed just makes you antisocial in general. See, I'm the opposite. Weed makes me more social. The higher I am, the more likely I am to want to socialize and to be sad if I can. Although I'll tell you what, there is something nice about a solitary smoke, which is why I'm not going to finish this whole bowl when I'm on the stream with you guys. I might hit it a couple more times when I'm on with you guys, but after that, dude, I'm gonna fucking turn off the stream, turn on a video, and we'll just sit here kind of quietly and just exist for a minute before I go back in. Because there is something nice about a nice solitary smoke. Okay, something I've always wondered, and maybe there's somebody in here can tell me how, like, like the answer. So I've been thinking about it, and like the International Book of Standards or whatever it is, the International Standards Organization or whatever, the thing that fucking, I can't remember what it is, but there's some fucking thing, there's some organization out there that determines, like, exactly how many fucking of this specific bracket you need on this specific kind of floor joist. So, like, the building codes, basically. Could you use the whatever the big international standard that a lot of them rely on? Could you use that basically as an instruction manual on how to build a house or a structure? Maybe you're too high, no one knows what you're talking about. I'm not too high. Dude, I'm talking about, like, okay, you know how, like, cities and shit, okay? Cities, like, if you build something in a city, you have to build it up to a certain standard, right? And send, like, the inspector over and they make sure that everything's, like, bolted together however it's supposed to be. I don't know. But, like, I know there's a book that all that shit comes from. They're not just making it up on the spot. There's got to be some kind of fucking book they're referencing. I don't know what it's called. I know it's international something or other. But I'm just wondering, like, see, because I want to do that. Like, dude, it's just because my fucking brain. I was thinking about that thing I want to do. I want to have a building that is basically like a guest house slash studio that is useful as both kind of a hangout spot where you can smoke weed inside and it's nice and air conditioned and heated in the winter and everything. But it's also a good place to do streaming and shooting and stuff like that. It's got a little burn pit outside of it and everything. And I was thinking, like, well, I would have to fucking customize the fuck out of that. And then that got me thinking, I don't know how to do any of that shit. Like, literally none of it. I wouldn't even know where to fucking start. And then that got me thinking, well, you know what? If I wanted to do it safe, which I would, couldn't I just use whatever the fucking, like, international standards bullshit thing? Fucking, couldn't I just use that as like a guidebook? Like, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna run the electrical now. So exactly what kind of cables do you need to have going to what kind of stuff? What kind of stuff needs to be there? You know, I might be too high. You might be right about that, actually. The International Building Code. Okay, yeah. Yeah. No, I don't have a fucking HOA. If it's on your property, there's a regulation. No, I'm not care. I'm not worried about the regulations. What I'm worried about is doing it safely. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, so I'm as apt to wire something up that roasts me alive while I'm streaming as I am to make something that works. That's what I'm fucking talking about. That's where I'm coming at it from. Like, I know how to work some basic fucking power tools and uh I know the copper things that go through your walls or wires that carry your electricity around, and they connect to sockets with the little and a little screw. That's it. That's awesome. Like, I'm just an idiot, dude. I want to know more, but, like, I'm also not gonna, like, go through a 20-year long career of being a carpenter so I can learn this shit. So, like, my thing is there, like, a book I can read? Is there, like, a fucking book of standards that I can pick up that'll tell me exactly what to get, exactly what has to be done. Dude, but the problem is it's not meant I probably can't use that either. Ah, the dilemma. The dilemma. What am I to do? I want to DIY shit. I have no idea how to DIY shit safely. I'm smart enough to know that the shit that I want to DIY has to be done safely or it will kill me. See, like the plumbing and shit, I actually feel like I could do a lot of the plumbing shit because growing up, my grandfather was a union plumber. He taught me a lot of shit whenever we would work on stuff around the house, um, whenever I was up in Missouri. And I've like consistently done, like basic house maintenance shit with plumbing stuff. And the fact that it doesn't like the fact that there's no way for it to kill you and that the physics of it is a lot easier to understand. I feel like I could fucking figure out the plumbing part. Do it's the electrical that scares me more than anything. For the rest of it, yeah, like as long as I slapdash whatever I slapdash together, as long as it looks good in the end and is insulated well and everything, then who cares? But as far as the electrical goes, that shit has to be done right. There ain't no room for fucking doing that shit stupid. How old are you? Why not embark on a 20-year career as a carpenter? Because I'm 27. By the time I got done, I'd be 47, which is not too old, I guess, but I don't want to put everything in my life on hold just so I can do that. Just so like dude, no, I don't want to do that. It's not what I want in life, and I'm so close to doing what I want in life forever. So yeah, well, I ain't doing it. It's not my fucking. It ain't my area of passion, man. It's just not. If it's not something that I should DIY, then whatever. I'll hire somebody, I guess. Because at the point where I could afford to do this, I could afford to hire somebody to do it. So fuck it. If I have to hire somebody to wire it, then I guess I have to hire somebody to wire it. You need to update your bio. Does this say 25 still? Flush your toilet, it comes out of a drain instead of going into it. And you got something real fucked up if that happens. You got something real fucked up if that happens. What's your favorite firearm? Mossberg 500. Would you rather report anything to the Nazis or an undocumented citizen to ICE? Bullet. I'm not making that foul choice, man. I ain't gonna be on the wrong side of either fucking part of history. I ain't gonna be on the wrong side of fucking post World War II history, and I ain't gonna be on the wrong side of post fucking 2025 history. So you better just give me the bullet. I ain't doing it. Man, I hope somebody snaps me up again. I'm a cat. I'm just thinking about how I'm about to go in there and I got that whole bed, like a fucking king size or whatever. I don't know. But it's like a big old bed. It ain't the best bed in the world. It creaks. It's a little misshapen in places because I done broke the box spring. I need to build a bed platform for it. Okay. But I think I'm just really fucking high. I don't think about fucking nice and warm and cozy it's gonna be in there. Dude, the greatest thing about fucking space heaters is that they're perfect because they knock just enough heat out of the air to uh oh to make blankets effective. That's what I was trying to say. Dude, you know what's funny is there comes a certain point in the stream at which point I have ran out of steam, and it seems to me like the chat has too. And so I'm just kind of sitting here telling you guys about my internal dialogue and rambling off to you guys my weird, intricate web of internal thoughts about shit I might do someday in the future or shit I want to do someday in the future or whatever. Just me sitting here fucking daydreaming, narrating my daydreams to you guys. I don't know how that's entertaining. I don't know how that's entertaining, but there's always 15 or 20 people that sit around and watch it. I swear to God, if I just sat around, didn't read the chat, and just did that for an hour and a half, I bet you I'd get just as many views as anything else I do. Hell, I bet the only reason I don't have more views right now is just because the algorithm fucking fucked me because I probably got age gated. Like I said, I don't know how that's entertaining, but I'm glad it is. I'm just puffing, I'm chilling, listening. Yeah, I'm glad there are people that like to listen to it. You guys make this fun to do, and it's cool to think there are other people that genuinely like sitting around listening to my dumbass ramble on. I've heard a lot of people say that though. I have heard a lot of people say, you know, a couple of times, in jest a little bit, but partially with a little bit of truth there, and I could tell. It's like, well, one of the great things about being friends with Phoebe is that if you don't feel like talking, you just kind of feel like listening. Great, she will let you. I'm just that kind of person. Now I can shut the fuck up and let another person talk. I mean, you guys saw me do it for free. I eventually get a rein on myself, but I'm not gonna lie and say it comes all together naturally. Kanye West? Yeah, Kanye doesn't pick his meds more than he does. He apologized to Jewish priests. Much forgiveness, guys. Uh, Also, I knew he was trolling, so not much needed to forget. He's expressing free speech and showing the world needs more of it. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but yeah, he did apologize to the priest. He did apologize, that's true. Although, was there not a fucking priest local to him or some shit? Was there not a rabbi somewhere in his area he could have gotten for that fucking, for that weird shit? Like, Jews don't have a high priest anymore, so who the fuck was that guy? I'll admit he was talking crazy, but it was to show something important. Maybe. Narrow minded, unconscious, unkind old people exist. This tells me that wisdom and emotional intelligence are earned. Old people seem to project their guilt on others using their age as authority. I don't think they always do that, but yeah. I mean, it's definitely I could see it as kind of an easy trap to fall into when you get a certain age. It's like, what do these kids know? I figured all this shit out. Mm, excuse me. Ow. Mm, 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 mm. Ugh, that felt awful. Ow. God, that felt bad. Oh, having indigestion. It sucks. I love the wise shaman types, but they are rare these days. That's one of the reasons I like going to rainbows because I feel like the wise shaman type, like they are extra abundant there. Although I will admit, a lot of times, one of the dudes you think is a wise old shaman eventually reveals himself to be just like another crazy old man. But that's charming in its own way too. Like there's this guy I always hang out with. If I find him at gatherings, I always make sure to smoke a joint with him and walk with him a little ways. But his name's Virgil. Real old guy. I'd say in his 60s or 70s. And he's kind of both. He's kind of like a crazy old man and kind of like a wise old shaman in his way. He plays the singing saw, and you would never even know he plays an instrument, but he does. He plays the singing saw. I have actually, because of Virgil, I have played in the aeroplane over the sea by Neutral Milk Hotel with singing saw accompaniment. Which, if you know that song, you know why that's significant. Sounds like a cool dude. He is. I hope he's still around. I haven't. I haven't done a rainbow in 2 years. I got fucking burns my ass, man. Fuck. Ugh. Dude, I hope the channel keeps taking off because and it will. I just need to continuously invest more and better effort into it. I get that. It's like me and Bree were talking about, but fuck, man. I just feel like, given the opportunity, I could give me and my family such a cool fucking life. Get us to a place that's way easier for everybody to take care of. Eventually get myself some kind of small RV that's drivable and navigable, but also comfortable and has enough sleeping space for me and a partner and my son. And if they have a kid, then their kid. Then I can go that. Load up a bunch of food for the family too. Load up a bunch of shit. A bunch of shit in a big old gorilla cart. Maybe even bring an electric ATV. When I eat chicken, I'm like, wow, what a cool life. Yeah, me too. Yeah, man, me too. Okay, well, good night, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you for chilling. Thank you for the super chats, the gifts, and all that. But I will see you guys around some other time. Yeah, I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you so much. Bye.